Welcome back to the Cutaway scene where the conversation stays uncut, unfiltered, and evolving. Listen, last week we were talking about identity drift. This week we're going to keep the momentum going, okay? It's movement, all right? Because becoming isn't loud, okay? It doesn't always look like a big decision. Sometimes it looks like a little subtle little shift, okay? I'm talking different reactions, okay? Different standards, different tolerance. And the tension isn't whether you're changing, it's whether you're afraid of what that change might cost. Let's get into it. So this week, we had asked y'all, what's harder, staying who you were or becoming who you are meant to be? And this one definitely felt honest, okay? Because staying is familiar, okay? Becoming is uncertain, okay? Staying protects your relationships, but becoming might change them, okay? Staying keeps things stable, okay? While becoming requires friction. But here's the truth. If you feel resistance, it might not mean you're wrong, okay? It might mean you're evolving. Let's get into some hot takes. Alright, so this week's hot take was, what have you quietly outgrown? And I like the word quietly because growth doesn't always come with announcements, okay? Some of y'all were saying old habits, felt that. Some were saying environments, some said friendships, some said the need of validation, well, for validation. But here's what stood out to me, okay? Outgrowing something doesn't mean it failed, okay? It means you're not the same version anymore, okay? The fear shows up right there, okay? Because when you outgrown something, you don't just lose it, okay? You lose the identity attached to it, okay? Let's get into some hypotheticals. Okay, scenario 1. You become more disciplined, okay? More selective, more focused. But the people around you, they still expect the old you, okay? The available you, the accommodating you, the easygoing you. Now here's the tension. Do you adjust back to stay familiar, or do you stay firm and let evolution do what it does? My hot take on that is, listen, honestly, people will feel a way about you regardless. So you might as well just do it your way, okay? I feel like the right people in your life won't feel a way about you setting healthy boundaries, okay? I feel like it's truly the ones that are just not really aligned with you or not meant to be in your life are the ones that feel a way about you setting healthy boundaries. And I feel like those be like the main ones that be not liking, they wouldn't like what they put out, okay? Put their energy. Basically is what I'm saying is they don't like having someone treat them the same way that they treat others if it was, acting out of ill will or whatnot, right? But I feel like we are not here to teach a grown person common courtesy, okay? Let's be real, okay? All right, scenario 2. You feel different, okay? Your standards change, your conversations change, your energy changed, okay? But your environment didn't, okay? So now you feel out of place. Not because you're lost, no, but because you've grown beyond the version that space was built for, okay? Becoming can feel lonely because it feels aligned, okay? Now, my hot take on that is I don't think people talk about this enough, okay? The whole shift that happens when you're closing one door and heading into a new one, okay? it does get a little awkward because it's like you're shedding the old version of yourself, okay? And I feel like those moments are necessary because it's one of those, like, how bad do you really want this new chapter or this new life or whatever you are stepping into? I feel like it's a little necessary, right? But listen, real talk, becoming isn't about reinventing yourself every month, okay? It's about refinement, all right? It's about noticing what no longer fits and not forcing it to. See, the old you isn't embarrassing, okay? They were necessary. But necessary doesn't mean permanent, okay? You don't shrink to make people comfortable. You expand and let the discomfort recalibrate the room. So yeah, that was this week's conversation, okay? You're not confused, you are evolving, okay? You're not lost, you are becoming. The real question is, will you let that fear slow you down? Now, if this conversation resonated, follow the Cutaway Scene on Instagram to vote on the weekly polls, okay? Drop your hot takes. And do not forget to subscribe and like on YouTube. You do not want to miss what happens next. That's a wrap, and this is the Cutaway Scene. Bye!